Hello, my name is Tony King. I'm a photographer, and today you're watching another behind the album YouTube video where I'm breaking down some images from a photo album I took ages ago. And a photo album is just a montage of photos that I take on a photo walk. So really, I'm going over some images from a particular photo walk. Today's are from photo album number 269, which is called Plants in Sun Rays. I took this in Mississippi on January 1st, 2026. So bit of a while ago. 31 images made it into this photo album, 8 of which I considered keepers, giving it a score of 25.81, which is pretty solid. And I actually recorded a video while taking this photo album where I talked about how I captured the images in the sun rays. So if you want to check that out, it's more like practical, more out in nature when I took that video, when I made that video and I took these images. So you can check that out as well on my channel. Of course, if you enjoy any part of this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more content just like this, but also way different, but all about photography. Did I already say that part? I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into it. This first image goes to show one of the main features that I was trying to get on this photo album and this photo walk and in the video that I made about taking photos like this. And we're shooting diagonally to a sun ray, so the background is going to be very dark, very much in shadow, and you can mess with your aperture and your shutter speed to really accentuate how dark the background is while also maintaining light on your subject. And here my subject is this like really curly branch going through the frame, cutting across it like a crack, like a web. I don't know. I'd say more of a crack. But then in the foreground, the upper right, you have something adding a little bit of texture to the darker shady area, and it's a branch closer to camera. So I think one thing that you could do in these situations really is messing with what your frame looks like, finding like something in focus and finding the parts that aren't going to be in focus and how to fill those in a frame in an aesthetically pleasing way. I find this to be aesthetically pleasing to me. Let me know what you think in the comments. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how this one turned out. Black and white, very dark and bright areas that I think work well together. Next, a similar feature with a lot of dark and bright areas, but more color here, more bright areas. The background isn't entirely black. It isn't entirely in shadow, but we have these little bright areas. But really, the main focus is this branch going across the frame, cutting across the frame even, you could say. And the little branches that stick off of it, some of them are lit, some of them are not. And the branch itself is pretty dark. So that's one part of this that I really like is the chiaroscuro of the branch that you get and the composition cutting across the frame with how the light is hitting it and where I position that area in the frame towards the center. So yeah, overall, this is a nice detail shot to show some nature, some intricacy, and a cool vibe with like barbed tree. I don't know. Pretty cool though. Next, I was considering getting some lens flares, and so I did. Very subtle lens flare on this lens and on the left side, and you can really see the light though shining through the leaves. The only leaves in the area. You can see some green in the background, really nice big bokeh. But we got another branch cutting across the frame and leaves hanging down. Usually you see leaves hanging up or to the side, but these are hanging downwards, which I think is another interesting aspect of this image. The soft fall off of the focus of the branch in the distance also I think adds like a little bit of a Z-axis perspective, but really the subtle lens flare, the pink purple haze that you get coming over the leaf and how the light really creates a line around the leaf, I think is super nice and fun to look at. So really happy with how this image turned out. It's one of those where I was like, let me see if I can get a cool lens flare and a cool image, and I found it pretty much right away. So very pleased with how this one turned out. Lastly, we have a detail of a pine cone with a very out of focus little leaf next to it. And I think this is a technical photo because I was thinking in my head, like, let's go ahead and get like all the way open, see the shallow depth of field, and how can we make something interesting? So we have the very small detail of the pine cone and something right next to it, so like out of focus. It's the only green element in a mostly like brown and golden type photo in the sun ray. So I think it adds a little bit of intrigue and shape and compositional interest to the image, at least with the colors, but while maintaining the focus to be on the pine cone and the little pine straw, I guess, that's sitting on top of it. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty neat. It's a cool little nature detail that pleases me as a photographer and somebody who takes images like this from time to time. So those are the images I'm going to talk about. I don't want to go too much into too many of the images because, like I said, I already made another video like while I was shooting this where I talked about it even more. So go ahead and watch that video and hopefully you'll enjoy that. These images are ones that I really like. I used to, like when I started photography, all I took was detail images of plants and flowers and leaves like this, and they weren't this good, I don't think. But to go back from like doing more documentary, more landscape, more wildlife type things that I'm doing more regularly now, to be able to cut back into doing some detail images like that and getting good results that I think are better than how I started, really goes to show that you can do more than one thing with photography and get better at it all at the same time. So very pleased with how this photo album turned out. If you enjoyed it and want to see the entire photo album itself, but not my other commentary talking about it, well, there's a link in the description to a playlist that has all the photo albums there. So you can find that there, number 269. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more content just like this, but also way different, but all about photography. I've been Tony King. I'll see you there. Peace.